And speaking of weed, Lonzo, I love weed. I appreciate it. But I hate when I'm in certain places and I smell it. If I'm at a concert, I'm good. I expect it. If I'm at a backyard party, I expect it. I'm good. But damn, I shouldn't be smelling weed when I walk into a church or a school PTA meeting or a hospital waiting room, or you see a bunch of dudes smoking a fat blunt outside of a middle school. I'm like, damn, and this isn't what they thought when they were gonna legalize marijuana.
Yes, they did. They knew we were gonna do this dumb shit. They knew it. They know it. They know we were gonna do it because, dude, I have a friend of mine. She went to daycare, and I've seen the same letter on YouTube as well, on Facebook. Lady had to write a letter to parents and tell the parents, "I am a mandatory reporter to Child Protective Services. If your kid comes back and hits my daycare someone like weed, I ain't got to report it or lose my license." So why is that necessary? That's what I mean. There are no lines to say, hey, man, you know what? We're not going to smoke weed at the church. We're not going to smoke weed at the daycare center. We're not going to smoke weed at the senior citizen center. We're not going to do it. No, this generation don't give a about nobody but themselves. If you say something, you got a fight on your hands. And that's the part you can't, there's no self-governance when it comes to a certain generation. They think they can do anything anywhere because it's legal. And that's not the truth, man. Everything, just because you can don't mean you should. Just because you can don't mean you should.
Yeah. Well, we're about halfway through the show, man. This is going by too fast, but I'm gonna remind everybody to hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you like what you hear, you appreciate that real West Coast hip hop and some game, you are tuned into the right channel. This is NWA Stories with Alonzo. That is Alonzo Williams, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. I am Dusty Vision. Welcome to the channel. If you're feeling generous, we have a $sign right below the chat. Just click that $sign, shoot the channel a few dollars. We really, really appreciate it. Let's jump back into this Boss Talk interview, Lonzo. And once again, I encourage everybody out there to go to Boss Talk 101, hit that subscribe button and let them know that Alonzo Williams brought you over. Boss Talk asked you, do you regret not embracing the music, meaning gangster rap back then? And you said,
nope, I don't. I don't. Look, man, again, I'm from a different generation. I'm a baby boomer, dude. I'm a baby boomer. It's certain things that are part of my operating system I'm not going to do. I'm like RoboCop. I do not compute. I can't do certain shit. But just I'm not going to. I'm going to respond a certain way. It's been ingrained in me, and I can't undo that. When you was raised with a dad like I had, who was one of the coolest dudes on the earth, but he would put his foot in your ass if he had to, and gave you certain orders, certain marching orders. And one thing about why my old man was crazy about me and why Jeffy loved me, even when I was gone, they were gone, I still upheld whatever rule they had. And that's why I was able to go so far ahead, especially with Jeffy, because when his son was charged, as soon as he leave, he knew that they were going to do whatever they wanted to. I didn't do that. That being said, I learned a sense of responsibility. And having a sense of responsibility and going through gang activity at Centennial High School, knowing that some people were prepared to kill and die over the smallest shit, man, I'm not fucking with that shit. They didn't know what they was doing. They lucked out. They didn't get killed, but they had their issues as well. And everybody can sit down now and say, oh man, the money is great. He's a billionaire. He made all the money. But you forgot in the beginning, that shit was not being accepted. That shit came with FBI, the president. Man, come on, dude. People running over shit. That's what they showed in the movie. I remember when we went on tour, the last tour I went on with them, they were N.W.A. and Eazy E was the opening acts. It was N.W.A., Eazy E, Ice-T, and Just Ice. Wrecking Crew is the only non-gangster act on the goddamn bill. We the headliners. We got the biggest record. Jerry Heller represented N.W.A., Eazy E, and Wrecking Crew, and they just threw Ice-T and Just Ice in the mix. The last tour I went on before that, it was the Love Fest, man. It was the Love Fest. Everybody, how you doing? I get an autograph at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bitch, you don't want no autograph. You don't want no autograph. So I got used to that. This last tour with them, dude, it was a fight fest. It was a fight fest. Hotel just getting tore up. Cats come looking for folks, man, with venom in their eyes, because y'all supposed to be the baddest cats. We gonna see you and where I forgot where we was. We were somewhere back east. Y'all in my town. I mean, I don't want to hear that bullshit. Where the freaks at? I didn't do it. That ain't what I did. And like I told my girl the other day, if somebody's gonna give me financial advice, you got to be rich. If somebody's gonna give me weight advice and health advice, you got to be healthy. You can't convince me you're a gangster and I know you're not a gangster. No. And again, I'm not trying to brag. I just got to keep it 100. I have done more gangster shit as a club owner than all 4 of them combined. All 6 of them combined. However many it was, except for Crazy D's ass. That motherfucker got me beat. Okay? But I've had to do more gangster shit in my life to survive as a club owner in Compton and South Central LA than all of them combined. I know how that game go. I don't want to play it for a living. And hey, that's one of them. That's one of them Uno cards. Pull, when all this said and done, pull forward and reverse, motherfucker. I'm not trying to go there. But any real man has got that in him. If you have to go, we going together. We never had that. I never saw that situation. So, and the fact that I'm much older than them, I'm the youngest, the closest one to me is Yella. And I think I'm 4 or 5 years older than Yella. He's probably the most non-gangbanger of all of them. And he's a cool dude, but that ain't what he do. But I'm not a follower. So I made a decision. I'm living with that decision right to this day. Yes, it's easy to say in 2025, after all the shit is said and done, they've been recognized, they got all these different accolades, that's fine and dandy. But coming into this situation in the 80s, when it's the late 80s when it first jumped off, most of the people who talking that shit now was kids, don't understand. I was a grown ass man. It's a difference. It's a difference what kids were willing to go through as opposed to a brother with a house, a car, a kid, a business. I'm not trying to go through certain shit. They didn't have nothing to lose. Again, like I said earlier, at that time, nobody owned anything. I've been owning property since I was 22 years old. A little bit of a difference. I had a kid since I was 18 years old.